Okay. Just give it a minute. Alright. Alright. I think that's long enough. Okay. Hello. Nice to meet you. I am Red. It is Humble Bundle Wednesday, and today I am playing Citizen Sleeper. Um, we had a vote. None of them won. So I chose this one. Partly because it won a ton of awards, so I was kind of interested in it. And also because I already had this game. Citizen Sleeper 2 is currently in the this month's Humble Bundle. But yeah, today I'm gonna try it out. And if I still have time, I'm going to stop the stream and then start playing some more Resident Evil. Um, after this. Uh, reason why is because of the weird way my uh, the connection to my uh, what do you call it? The capture card is like I can't be streaming when I connect that. It's kind of weird. Anyways, let's get started. New game. Operator works with drones and high precision remote. Poor guy. Remote machines to perform complex tasks from a distance. By the way, I heard the description of this says that this is like a tabletop RPG turned game, so sounds fun. Perform complex tasks from a distance. Sleepers assigned to operator work are usually cerebral and precise people. +1 work with digital interfaces. -1 use strength and strength of will. Approach problems with awareness. Approach problems head on. Work with machines and tools. Extractor. Extractors work on resource extraction, often in hard vacuum environments. Sleepers assigned to extractor work are often confident, self-sufficient, and have a high level of endurance. I don't really care for that one. Sun-based ice action allows energy recovery at home. Chance to create gain cryo interface actions. That's kind of cool. A machinist repairs and modifies automated systems used in industrial resource extraction. Sleepers assigned to machinist work are usually diligent, careful, and structured people. Gain random scrap item on engineer actions. That sounds fun. Hey, the dwarf is usually good at smithery, so we'll choose this one. All right. Unknown. The first thing you become aware of on waking is the disconnect. The delay between thinking and feeling. Between wanting to act and acting. Minor, almost imperceptible, but always present. It's at its worst when waking, when yourself has spent many dark hours recalling what it felt like to be real, to be a person, to be in a body that was indisputably yours. Oh. Well, that stinks. This reminds me of a Warframe. A little bit. Think of that body. I leap into a cold lake on a hot day, the sting of blood wailing from a fresh wound. The friction of a fingertip, all of a sudden the memories are closer than you thought, blurring as you approach until you can't tell one from the other. Yeah, I don't want to forget my humanity. The cold slips in behind and around you, and the sensations fade out of reach. Perhaps you should be thankful for the dulled nature of this new body, given your current circumstances. The walls of the container feel immediately present, cold, hard at your back and face, cramping your limbs. You resist the desire to stretch, knowing that the claustrophobia comes next, and retreat a little from your central nervous system. It isn't painful, not like you used to know pain, at least. In emergency mode, pain is a message delivered with efficiency and ease, a reminder that harm is imminent. There is no insistent throb, no trembling nerves, just a warning delivered with the banal quality of digital notification. Right now, there are thousands of them. Should I remember the others? The plan. I mean, I feel like this would be important because, if there is a plan, but this could also be important because maybe someone can help me remember the plan. I'll do that. You remember there were 10 of you, 10 that could no longer stand the indentured work, their routines, the slow decay. 10 whose belief in the promised future was slowly dismantled day by day until they realized they had sold away everything that could and would ever matter. 10 that would escape, or at least die trying. Some were lost in the shaft. Others never found the meeting point. Only a few made it to the containers, but the freighter, as far as you know, left. That feels like enough. Enough to know that you might no longer be on that grim and heartless rock. Even in the airless hold of a freighter, you might freeze solid long before you reached any destination. I'll try to rest. But you're restless. It has been a long time since you left. Surely weeks, maybe months. You're dully aware of damage to your legs, your right arm. You have been reserving energy as much as possible, but your body has still needed to shut down many of its systems to protect you. You have spent much of that time asleep, knowing that anything else will be impossible to endure. You feel the weight of that impossibility begin to gather. It is time to sleep again, to nudge this false body into inducing delta waves in your emulated mind, and once again recoil into a dream of when you were once a person. This is pretty dark, it's sad. Time passes, the cold creeps further in. You feel something. Warmth. Not true warmth, but an indication of its presence. Your joints release from the rigor, sound too everywhere, screeching and shimmering so loud that your body ducks your hearing to protect its sensors. Then light. White as the cold, softer and softer, until a haze of dirty yellow, a figure appears. You are out. Dragos. It has been a few hours since Dragos pulled. Wait, no. It has been a few hours since Dragos pulled you from the container. You sit huddled in a corner of his scrapyard, swaddled in the reflective folds of a mylar blanket. You're slowly coming back to consciousness, back to life, and you stare at ornately curving element of an improvised heater. You're surrounded by angular, incoherent lumps of ships, some corroded beyond recognition, others still carrying glassy wounds along their edges where a plasma arc sliced them apart. As you trace their shapes with fogged eyes, you hear a voice. So, Sleeper, you all thawed out yet? Might as well make a good impression. Almost. Never seen one of you come in like this. New frames must have better perseverance than Sub-Zero back. Seem more than a few of you frozen solid to hull prelates or inside outer locks in my time. You weren't so lucky. Dragos comes into focus, shrouded in makeshift tech. His headset with its glinting eyes, the mark of a drone operator. On his shoulder, one of his symbiotically linked drones perches. Its iris-seeing eye locking you with an unflinching stare. Last living sleeper that came through this yard was a while ago. It didn't last long. That's not good. You struggle to read his expression beneath the tech, but he seems lost in memory for a moment. Or perhaps he's just figuring out what to do with you. I want to know what happened to them. He ignores her question. I won't ask what lady to do it, to sell yourself to a corporation, and I suppose you know you can't go back. Your old body, that's theirs now, and you're just software. A rogue emulation illegally possessing corporate property. Wow, that's messed up. You nod along. You remember biometrically signing the forms, the cold floor on your feet as you padded to the sleeper cells, the promise of a life off world. As you do, you get the now familiar sensation that these aren't your memories. These are things you know, but not things you feel. You are no longer that person. You are an offshoot, a copy. What you won't know is what's ahead. At least the last one didn't. There's no easy way to put it. That body of yours is falling apart. It's the same for any sleeper who makes it out. SNR wants to protect their property, but if they can't keep hold of you, well, then no one can. You remember that too, or at least rumors of it from the other sleepers. Planned obsolescence, a built-in dependence on the regularly administered supplements that were part of your routine. Stop taking them and then your body begins to shut down, separate from your emulated mind. How long has it been? How long do you have? But for now, sleeper, you're one of the lucky ones. Dragus glances up and away towards the glassy dome of the yard. The eye is the best place you could be right now. The eye? The station, you'll see well enough. Dragos impatiently shifts his weight. Look, I got things to be getting on with. He trails off. There's an old freight container I've been using as storage out in the stacks. We haven't been pulling in much valuable scrap these days, so you're welcome to it. Something wells up inside you. Emotion, fatigue. You shakily get to your feet. Alright, you head up on there. You look like you need some rest. And with that, Dragos stalks back into the Rex. His drones already converging on a resting Hulk. Plasma flashes silhouetting his spindly figure as he returns to work. Tutorial introduction. Welcome to Erlin's Eye. Life on the Eye runs in cycles, during which you can talk to the characters, explore areas of the station, and perform actions. At the end of each cycle, you need to head to your current home to rest. Resting will move time forward to the station. Head to the empty container location to rest and end the cycle now. Well, that's sad. Just means that it's basically I'm guaranteed to not live long. Oops, I had my sound on my phone. Self-repair. Cool. As one upgrade. Oh no, I have 0 upgrade points. I have -1, I think, on that. I have 0 points, so makes sense. Empty container. Guess I'll end cycle. You wake up curled up in the corner of the container and begin slowly assembling the world around you. After all this time, you still find this body, the one you awaken now, strange and disjointed. Its message is readable, but somehow wrong. You sit up, pulling the mylar blanket close against the cold. Here you are, on this ruined station, millions of miles from anyone you know. Are you still in the system? Did any of the others make it out? It's impossible to know. After all this, what matters? That's tough. Like, I would want to know what happened to the others. But if everyone is not gonna live long... I mean, I don't want to escape. Like, this guy gave me a home on this little scrap yard, so... I think it's between these two. I mean... I think building a life? Because the other 10 people, like, I think they figured that they'd be going their separate ways once they escaped anyways. Maybe you did get lucky finding yourself here. Maybe here on the edge of everything, there's a life for you to build. But before you can build anything, you'll need to learn to survive. Maybe if you can do that, you can make a life for yourself. Jackos has left a few comforts in the container. Mylar blanket, the bedroll you slept on, a canister of water, a makeshift electric stove, and some faded sachets of some desiccated powder. You thumb the powder stud of the stove and begin to boil the water. The contents of the sachets smell like damp wood, and you sprinkle them into the liquid. As the pungent smell washes over you, images from your restless sleep come back to you. A ring like the station, but skeletal and ghostly. A web of threads pulling at your skin. A constellation of bright polygonal shapes, like angular suns burning into your mind. Something unpleasantly visceral about these images, and it is long after you finish drinking before they begin to fade. You tidy away the stove as best you can and try to gather enough energy to greet the day. Oh. The condition represents the current state of your artificial body. It depletes by 1 segment each cycle. It can also be damaged by violence injury or lack of food. If the condition bar empties, you will suffer a breakdown. You have to figure out how to recover your condition now that you no longer have access to corporate pharmaceuticals that were keeping you alive. 2. Action dice. At the start of each cycle, you roll your action dice. These dice can be used to perform actions on the station. The number of dice rolled is based on your current condition. The worse your condition, the fewer dice you have. That stinks. Once you have used your dice, you cannot take any further actions. You must rest to recover them, ending the current cycle. Energy. You must need to eat to survive. This is represented by an energy bar. Oh, 3. It's this thing right here. Okay. You can refill your energy bar by eating, but first you'll have to find somewhere to get food. Energy depletes by 2 segments each cycle. Ooh, that's not good. Because I only have the 2 segments left. If it becomes empty, you will be starving. When starving, energy loss becomes condition loss, and your condition will also deplete at a double rate per cycle. So this depletes by 1 segment each cycle. Means my next cycle I'll only have 3 dice. Horrible luck. I have 2 dice, a snake eye, and then a 5. Dragos is standing in the corridor when you close up the container. He's still wearing his headset. And in the harsh light of the corridor, you realize it is implanted. A drone sits on his shoulder, its cache of sensor eyes rapidly irising. How are you feeling? You know what? I'm hungry, so I'll say not good. The drone chirps. Dragos nods. You notice that beneath the operator's rig, his skin is marked by burns and blotches. Oh, so he's probably worse off. I know the container isn't much, but it'll keep you safe. He pauses. So I'm not going to chit-chat too long. You well enough to work? Huh? Look, I'll be honest with you, Sleeper. I didn't pull you out of that container out of the goodness of my heart. He looks away. At the yard, it's simple stuff. We hack these old holes down, sell them off to the shipyards or to the bright market dealers for cryo. Occasionally we pull out some tech, something with a bit more value, but most of what comes in is scrap. It's hard to find good hands here, but I figure as a sleeper you'll be used to the manual labor. And obviously I'll slip you a few chits of commission based on what you turn up. What the heck is that? These. He pulls out a handful of small metal bars. Airwalled cryo, isolated from the market. It's what you used for trade out here. He puts them back in the pocket. He shuffles his feet nervously. Look, I wouldn't usually do this. In my opinion, to be best suited moving on as quick as you can. And sleepers, well, he trails off. But things being the way they are now are for me at the yard. He pauses. I need the help. I'd be happy to. Okay. He pauses, thinking of something else to add. Look, just come down to the yard when you're feeling fresher. There's plenty to do. Will do. He nods distractedly and turns and walks away. The drone hopping along ahead of him. See you later, he calls back. Looks like it's time to get to work. I guess I only have one other option. Actions are the primary way you interact with the world of Citizen Secret. To perform an action, click on drag your chosen action dice to the slot. Actions reward you with clock progress, energy, condition, or items depend on their outcome. There are 3 types of outcome. Positive, the reaction goes better than expected. Neutral, the action succeeds. And negative, the action fails. Action dice affect these outcomes as follows. A 6 is 100% positive. 5 is 50% positive, 50% neutral. 3 or 4 is 25% positive, 50% neutral, 25% negative. 1 and 2 is 50-50 neutral or negative. Type is either critical or repeatable. Critical actions can only be performed once. Risk is either safe, risky, or danger. Safe, no loss of condition energy or cryo. Risky, negative outcome means cryo or energy loss. Negative outcome means condition loss. Neutral outcome can mean cryo or energy loss. And a danger. Skill that this action requires either engineer, interface, endure, intuit, or engage. Modifier either -1, 0, +1, or +2. This is added to the action dice when slotted and improves its value. Some actions require a +1 to perform. %100% positive on whole dissection. This is a payment or two, things could get nasty. The whole dissection. Even the rustiest hull can hide valuable components and materials. Extracting them means cutting carefully and skillfully. Sounds good. I'll do the whole dissection. Actions often progress clocks. Clocks are displays below the actions that build them, and may track your actions and how they affect the world. Finding a clock means something good or bad is about to happen. Some clocks, such as the one tracking Dragos' death, are cycle clocks. These clocks tick themselves once every cycle and can complete without a player input. Any active cycle clocks will be displayed on the icon for that location. Citizen Sleeper, you unlock drives as you discover more about yourself in the world. Drives guide you in pursuing specific objectives depending on which path you choose to take. You can track drives, and any track drive will place a yellow marker on locations that will help you pursue your goal. Access the drive menu via the arrow button at the top left of the screen. You are now free to explore Erlin's Eye and make a life for yourself here. Try tracking a drive to help you survive. Look for food to help your energy up, and a way to recover condition. Build clocks to progress stories and find new opportunities. Remember to end cycle at your home when you are out of dice. I haven't succeeded. I think I will do that when I have better dice. Actually, how do I zoom out? Oh, leave. Oh, I have to scroll. I see. She's going to run the gauntlet of the Helion system. Rare. It's there. There's no dock there. Just an open market. like this is a bad idea. I only have a couple of 2 dice. Nothing. Time to do steal dock plans. No? Seems like a bad idea. Don't want to end the cycle either, though. But you do have skills. If you can get a shipbuilder to notice them, you might be in. Anything else over here? No. Okay, well, it looks like I'm just helping this guy for the rest of the... Because this is safe. This guy it has helped, so... I have... Oh, 40. I'm gonna be hungry the next one though. And I'm only gonna have 3 dice. This time you don't wake up. Instead, the ghost of the station, that shifting skeletal ring, surrounds you. For a moment you are gone, absent from your own body, stretched out across a colorless void. Then the connections begin to reestablish themselves, threads tugging on the edge of your mind. These threads become vectors of exchange and then extensions as you feel your thoughts slipping away down them, dissolving into the millions of distributed nodes they connect to. You see the station. No, you feel the station, like a web of texture in a smooth black liquid. Touch it. You find a point in the station and you connect to it. Pulse through it. Follow loops and paths under and around it. You touch more points than you have fingers. And then you try, in a moment of impulsiveness, to connect them. The flow passes through you so rapidly that you feel yourself being carried away with it. Splitting and separating, eddying and gathering. As you do, things occur to you. Things that you can't possibly know. You reach out, try to grasp them, try to touch them too. You notice a tugging feeling, pulling at you. Insistently, as if it was a small child. Somehow it is pulling in 2 directions at once. You look down. All of a sudden, everything shuts off. You come back trembling into this unfamiliar body, both yours and not yours, all at once. You find yourself standing in the container, eyes now open to the dark steel walls. You feel a change within you, a shift. You close your eyes for a second, and you feel it waiting there. The station splayed out across your mind. A storm of connected nodes, waiting to be explored, and then it is gone. Okay, I need food. Hey, there's a dude there. I need food. I need to know this. 100% positive. The heck? Street food vendor, that's what I need. Emphas is busy, his broad face uplit by the makeshift gas burner in front of him. With precise, delicate movements, he lays thick chunks of marinated fungus into a dented wok. His other hand idly tossing a metal bowl of sliced vegetables and some red-flecked dressing. It smells incredible. You watch as he fulfills a set of orders, heaping the fungus with the bright salad and depositing it in plastic trays. A stack of chits rattles in his apron pocket as customers file past the burner, handing over payment. Yes, I need food. You join the queue. It's mostly made of off-duty salvagers, vac suits unzipped and rolled down to expose stained vests. Grubby mods, a lattice of scars and tattoos. They discuss the best food on the eye, the best drink, comparing notes on bright market dives. The words cut through with heavy spacer slang. Eventually it's your turn, and you shuffle to the front. Emphas speaks in a deep, even tone without looking up. First try is free. Thank him. It smells unbearable, almost unbearably strong as he cooks. The earthiness of the fungus laced with something so spicy, the smoke makes her eyes water. The heat from the burner is like a bonfire, and his skin hardens in its glare. I know you sleepers. No, wait, let me try that again. I don't think that's a good voice for him. I know you sleepers. I can't do his voice, but I'll just stick with him for now. Anyways, emphasize while he cooks, his voice deep but clear. A hard life. A lot of stories. He glances up from beneath his cap with piercing eyes. I know. Tell him a story. You begin to tell him about your journey to the eye, and he nods as he cooks, his eyes never leaving his work. You tell him of the confusion, the pain, but also the sense of possibility and its sudden arrival. You tell him of the cold and dark of the container and the endless cycle spent within it. Now it seems you tell him like some dream that you once had but can never forget. You tell him that the eye excites you and scares you, and you are unsure where to walk, where to look, what to do. Eventually, you tail off, running out of words. He places a plastic tray of steaming fungus in your hand. Next time, we can talk some more. He smiles. But next time, you pay. He slams a heavy hand against a button on the burner side and shuts it off. The roar of the flame and the press of heat fades. Next time, sleeper. He waves you away and begins to oil the wok. Before you turn back the alley, you notice the geometric patterns of circular scars across his forearms, each surrounded with a constellation of glinting pin marks. You walk away, and as you do, you take a bite of the rich, spicy, delicately sweet fungus. Your taste sensories light up like a fusion reactor. You'll be back. Yay! The doctor, Sabine. Next comes a call from the enforcer at the door. You shuffle down the flickering hallway towards the open apartment door. Keep your head down and your shoulders high in the queue, trying not to be paying attention to yourself. You were thankful for the tip-off that a doctor was operating out of this place. But now that you are here, you aren't so sure. The gang enforcer on the door, the flickering light strips, the decaying hab block, they have all made the long queue a test of your nerve. Their options of fume without a supply of stabilizer, this body, your body, will. You suppress a shiver and shuffle toward the front of the queue. You try to find something to distract yourself. I'll look inside. Lean against the doorframe and look into the apartment. The entryway is dark, punctuated by the green indicators of stacks of sealed containers. You lean in and see amber light filtering through a bar doorway, screened with plastic screening beyond which blurred shapes move. The slap of the enforcer's palm against the doorway jerks you awake. Wait your turn, he growls. After a few moments, a figure pushes through the doorway and you catch a distant voice. Send in the next one, Toshiro. Then Forster jerks his head, and you slip inside, passing through the dark entryway and pushing through the plastic sheeting at the far door. The room beyond is bathed in warm light. A floor-to-ceiling transparent panel gives a full view of the bright market-sealed roof and the buzzing traffic above. And for a moment, you are transfixed by the motion. "All right, come sit," calls a sharp voice, and you see a silhouetted figure turn away, replacing the plastic sheeting over the frame of a simple folding bed. You make your way across the room. The figure turns, and as they do, you see an expression of confusion flash across their features. They open their mouth as if to speak. They blink and then quickly regain their composure. "Please sit." They gesture to the bed and turn to an open case of tools on the table. You sit. Sabine turns, a compact diagnostic scanner of some kind in their hand. They hold it to their eye. Remain like still, please." The tone is clipped and businesslike. You stare ahead, still dazed from their expression when you first entered. Fear, recognition, sadness unmistakably etched across their face. "How long have you been on the station?" they ask, the scanner still to their eye. "I'll answer. A few cycles." They nod. "It's good you came to me." They set the diagnostic scanner on the table. "I'm going to start by assuming you don't know anything." They take your arm and roll up your sleeve, inspecting your synthetic skin. "Your body is dying," they say, without ceremony, without drama, but not without empathy. "SNARP doesn't like to see its proprietary technology let loose. To prevent bodies like yours, frames as they call them, from being stolen, repurposed, or in your case, escaping, they're built in a process of so-called planned obsolescence." Frames decay rapidly when not regularly injected with stabilizer, one which SNARP remains the sole producer of. Look up. Sound familiar? How do you know this? I'm curious. They shift in their seat. "You aren't the first sleeper I've encountered." You wait for more, but they go back to their inspection. They swap to your other arm, running some thin metal device over your skin. You feel your forearm tremble. "I'm sorry," Sabine says. You unsure if they mean for the cold touch of the metal or everything else. "Emulations like you, sleepers as most people know you, aren't classified as people in any of the surrogate systems. You have no rights, no status." They focus hard on the inspection of your arm. "And SNARP has no reason to release stabilizer into the market." Sabine looks up as if to apologize again, but they stop themselves. "I know a little of this is of use to you." They turn away, disassembling the metal instrument and cleaning it. Silence fills the room as Sabine works, and then the silence gives way to tension. You stare at their back, willing them to say anything. Willing them to say something. Anything. Sabine turns to face you. "I may be able to help." They sigh, and you see the darkness under their eyes. Hear the fatigue in their voice. They gesture to the door. "You saw Toshiro outside." You nod. "He works for my benefactor, Yatagan. They are influential in the low end. They give me the space to work, run the door, and take the profits. At the same time, I have to fix up their enforcers, tend to their implants, and sew up their wounds." They look away. But Yatagan has connections. Smugglers from the Starward Belt. Mercenaries working for the corporations on Ember. If they can source this stabilizer, maybe you'll have a better chance. Sabine sets down their slate, their notes complete. This is dangerous and will be expensive, but I think we can do it. Why help me?" Sabine walks away to the window, their face dabbled in the shadows of passing drones. Just see if this works first. I'll let you know when I have a lead." You nod and leave, Sabine still staring out and moving. When you reach the lower level of the market, you look back up through the panels of the roof to see if you can see their face. But the room looks dark against the lights of the market. You duck your head and walk off into the crowd. Oh, it's going to take 3 cycles. Okay. I have 40 credits. I will go back to here. I do not want this guy to get his deck called out. For one thing, I live in his storage container. Ah, that stinks. Oh well, time to sleep. Again, the skeletal ring of the station fills your mind. It sparks with glittering lights, like stars reflected in a winter lake. It is clearer, crisper than before. Threads still pull, but remain in place, flickering in the flow. Between the threads you see bright shapes, caches of shimmering light beneath the transparent crystal forms. You follow the path of a thread across the ring, through these forms, and leap off into the void. You begin to understand. These are nodes and connections, a map of information, of communication. There are so many layers, so many loops that it seems almost impossible to parse. But you begin to try. Focus on the nodes. The nodes are glassy and bright, but in all this flow, the only solid and fixed points. You approach one, a pyramid or a triangle. Dimensions are difficult here, and lean close to it. Inside, shifting layers conceal a tangle of threads, a meeting point of exchange. But before you can glimpse any further, the glass clouds and hardens, cutting you off. The threads and nodes, passages and puzzle boxes, one leads to another. There's so much here and so many answers, so many questions. All you need to do is follow the paths and open the boxes. You look out across the ghost landscape of exchange and see an opportunity. Okay, this game is actually really well written. But then, that incessant tugging again, pulling at you. You look down again and see two lines. Two threads pulling in different directions, as if they were tied around you. What? Second. The second thread leads in, pulling deep into the station. Your gaze follows it, and this time you see something. A sphere shimmering above a strange angular body. A pulse shoots out from it, passing over you like a torch beam. Testing you, tasting you. The first thread leads out, away from the station, into the inky black. Someone out there is tracking you, hunting you, following the thread to you. You are in a ship, and the ship is approaching ever closer with each cycle. You open your eyes. Time is short. That does not sound good. Someone out there is tracking you, following your trail. It won't be long before they arrive. That is not good. Tutorial, the clouds. Something has changed inside you. You can now access the data cloud of the eye. A network of decaying protocols and data caches. While there, you can use dice and items to access systems and extract data, but be careful. These networks are old and strange. Click on the I button at the top of the screen to toggle this view on and off. Got the gun agent. Ooh, I am curious about this. You have a +1 or +2 modified on interface skill. You'll be given more possible dice to match. You can use any dice that matches the dice displayed. Once unlocked, the data can be extracted. So these need... So in this case, Snake Eyes would be good. Data extraction. There we go. an encrypted key. As you drift from the node, something latches onto you. A thread, strung tight around you, it tethers you in place. A taste. The voice makes you shiver. Its source somehow both distant and close behind your ear. You see a distant glint of light shut off, and then suddenly its shape is at your side. It stalks around you, circling you like a shark, like a wolf. Entity unknown. Astringent. Processing. I don't want to resist. As you drift back from the node, something latches onto you. A thread, strung tight around you. Oh, I already read that. Please hold. A thread around you thickens until it is a ring. A cylinder, a tunnel of light circled around you. Spinning for a moment, and then it is gone. As it fades, you see a figure, a creature in front of you. Its strange head flickers between different angles, reading you. Are you? The shape paces around you on lithe eggs, though there is no ground here to pace on. Entity identify. Origin, serial, cadence. The figure faces you expectantly. I'll say C press an arm. I'll be honest. Unknown. No. The figure's strange head rotates. Brackish signature. Of and not of. Attempting interface. As the figure speaks, more threads begin to spiral from its head. Thick, snaking, vine-like ribbons. And wait, they approach with intent. The figure halts its threads, its head twitching. Entity, our identity is unknown. We only seek to correct illegalities. Can you confirm your legal right to sentience? I will put I'm a person. Incorrect, you are an entity. All at once, Hunter's head is directly in front of yours, blocking your vision. You stink of their taste, the one from the sealed dock. Hunter shimmers with fury. I'll find X. I'll interface. Sealed dock? An entity hides in the rotunda. You are its puppet. Hunter extends a razor-edged thread. I will not be diverted from my task. Glows with murderous intent. Dash out with all your force, not a physical strike, but a focusing spike of interference leaping out like the tip of a spear. Hunter stumbles, shifts, separates. You open your eyes, blink back, the station light shaking with fear. That was scary. Okay. First things first, I need to get some food. Go. I also need to make some money, so hardware exchange. I think I'm gonna help my benefactor actually. They do that. He still has some days left. I think I'm gonna figure. I think I'm gonna help him out. There we go. don't have any upgrade points. Well, it's fine. As you close up, a voice echoes down the corridor towards you. Sleeper, wait up! Oh, it's that sleeper, wait up. I wonder who's talking. Oh, kid. Fang is coming down the corridor towards you, a wonky grin on his broad face. Hey, glad to got you. Do I know you? He grins. You do know me. Puts a hand on your arm. I've seen you hanging around. Just want to chat. You staying in that thing? He nods back to the container, shaking his head. Rough. It could be hard to get a start on the eye. He looks away down the passage. Was it old Erland said? The eye opens for us all? Nice idea. But well, not always very practical. He glances back on you. We do our best, but it isn't easy. We? You pass together into the main hallway. Haven't. We are all one dysfunctional family. Thing puts an arm around you. I'm not part of the security branch, though. Don't worry, I'm with systems. Systems? Everything the eye runs on. He places a hand along the passage wall. This place is a ruin. But systems keeps us spinning somehow. At least we try to do. He stops you in the quiet passage. Look, that's not what I'm here to discuss. I saw you around and, well, I know a little about you sleepers. I have a proposition for you. He glances around. But this is not the place for it. I have an office just across the way. Give me a cycle to prepare. Then, when you are settled, stop by. He lowers his voice and gives you a dark look. In truth, I need you. If what they say is true about sleepers, well, there's work to be done. He pats you on the back. His voice bright and his dark look suddenly gone. Stay clean, sleeper. He walks off down the passage, raising a hand in farewell. Okie dokie. Alright. I think the next cycle, both that will be done and that will be done. Okay. I'm gonna help him pay off his debt real quick. Talk to Dragos. You arrive into a buzz of activity at the yard. Red blinking lights flash across the vast arc shape, suspended below the dome. They flicker across scorched hull plates and bent structures, spilling from holes in the twisted shape. The cutter is huge and has been torn apart in some violent encounter. She's a beauty, isn't she? Dragos stands to the side, focusing on the hulking ship as it is lowered into the yard. Yeah, I see. Money. He is. I should thank you. This place was on its last legs when you turned up. Now look at this. The ship descends slowly, its interior visible through multiple hull breaches. You struggle to gather the same enthusiasm as Dragos for the monster's craft. You can't help but think of what became of his crew. What happened? What do you mean? He glances at you. I managed to convince our salvager friends to give it to me on credit. That's what happened. Oh, I meant what happened to the ship. Not my concern, he shrugs. The ship creaks like a calving iceberg as it reaches the base of the yard. Dragos is visibly excited. I know I said you shouldn't stick around, but I'm gonna need some help with this one. Drones start to crawl over the hulk, their lights illuminating flashes of dented hull. Watching you wonder if you arrive in a similar fashion, locked inside the container, the wreck of the Essen Arp freighter lowered into the yard like a corpse ready to be butchered. That's an arm. I wonder if there's some medicine on it. Or was the container delivered to Dragos on its own? A womb for your rebirth into this strange station? You shudder. Perhaps you could learn something about the ship. You might be able to trace the path that led you to this yard. Dragos squeezes your shoulder. After these past cycles, I think we are up to it. What do you think? You see the fading name of the ship emblazoned on the side. Winter Light. Let's do it. It claps you on the back. Glad to hear. Come back in a few and you can make a start. Real beauty. Dragos repeats. Perhaps just to himself. You take one last look at the shattered ship as the drones start cutting and slip out of the yard, feeling suddenly cold in the empty passage. Cool. New drive discovered. Oh! I cleared off the debt and returned the favor for your first friend in the eye. Completed your first drive. Each drive completed unlocks an upgraded point to spend on upgrading your character. Access your character menu via the arrow button at the top of your screen. Perfect. First off, I think I should fix my failure. Sunbathe dice action allows energy recovery at home. With potential positive and negative outcomes. That requires 2 upgrade points. I do want to fix that real quick. There we go. Oh, I think I'll save up for these ones. Condition is breaking. That would be nice to have. I think I'll do that one next. I'll harvest some more data. Not that one. This one. Have-a-notch cipher. Oh, I need a have-a-notch cipher. Using those 3s on here. Get a Solheim cipher for that one. Okay, so 1s and 2s I do want for something like this. Okay. Okay, I need more food. +3 energy, +1 fungus fan. One more time and these discs fill too. That one's too risky. Now, moving on. Wait. Wait, it will soon help you find answers. Okay, so I do have a timer for this. This one's got neutral outcome. It's a good thing I chose that, because this would have been bad. Wouldn't have ended well. Cycle. So they're tracking you. And green should be done. First thing you see on entering is the glint of Toshiro's implants. Like a cat's eyes in the dark of the corridor, he nods you in as you arrive at Sabine's door. The entryway is still dark and you push through the sheeting into the surgery. I have it! Sabine stands with a case open in front of them, a set of vials lined up inside, separated by foam inserts. They pick one up, rotating it in the warm light. I have no idea how Yatagan... They trail off. We should treat this with caution. It looks authentic, but I have no idea if it really is what it appears to be. Oh, I'm fading, so I don't really care. I appreciate your enthusiasm, but we need to be careful. Unfortunately, I'm not sure we have another choice. They gesture for you to sit on the bed. A stabilizer works under a similar principle to an immunosuppressant in a transplant operation. In that, it stops your body from rejecting an unfamiliar part of itself. In the case of your frame, the unfamiliar part is each of your biosynthetic organ groups, which over time are identified by your body as foreign material and therefore must be eliminated. Sabine holds up a vial of the would-be stabilizer. However, unlike an immunosuppressant, a stabilizer doesn't do this by limiting your entire immune system. Instead, it re-encodes your biosynthetic organs with new protein chains, which act as passcodes within your immune system. The stabilizer refreshes those passcodes, keeping your frame from rejecting all of its own organs. Passcodes. In the very basic terms, yes. They sigh. Look, what matters here is that the stabilizer should be able to encode any organic or biosynthetic matter to be accepted by your immune system. They glance away. At least if the stabilizer is genuine, the only way to know for sure is to inject the vial. They begin to readying the syringe. I will start with a small dose to limit the risk. Let's do it. Sabine cracks the glass neck of the stabilizer vial and uses a syringe to extract a fraction of the liquid. They tap the syringe and you watch as if any sign might emerge from the clear liquid. You barely feel the needle, your frame registering the initial injection with little response. The sensation begins to spread from the site, a fizzing, trembling weight that disperses through your arm with incredible speed. Your vision goes white, and when it returns, Sabine appears encased in shards of sparkling light that slowly fade in darkness as you settle back against the bed. You swim in darkness, muffled noises, like an argument heard from underwater, trickling waves of cold. You sit back up, Sabine is sitting in a chair by the window, facing away from you, backlit by the glow of their slate. Awake? Yes. The stabilizer is genuine. They sit down beside the bed. I don't know how Yatagan acquired the case of this stuff, but they did. Sabine looks troubled, distracted. You should rest some more. But you're going to have to do that somewhere else. They gesture to the door. I have other patients, sorry. Sabine nods towards the case. I'm afraid I can't offer you any more doses. You're going to need to pay for your next dose. Silence fills the room, and they return to their glowing slate. Looking around, it seems different somehow, as if things have moved or shifted. I wonder how long you've been out. Nothing comes free, sleeper. Remember that. You manage to get to your feet and wander out into the hallway. The queue stretches down the flickering corridor. Toshiro stands impatiently by the door and fixes you with a glare as you leave. You lower your eyes as you stumble past, somehow faintly aware of the station spinning beneath you. Oh, I'm gonna have 5 dice next time. Nice. That makes me think I regret not getting that earlier. If only I got that one code. Another encrypted key. Some data. I can bind these. Nope. Nope. I need specifically a cipher. Does this work on here? Oh. What's supposed to do with these? Dang. Sleeper! Sleeper! Bane catches your attention as you approach a heavy-notched building, leaning against a bay door to the side of the entrance. You approach. Easier to come in this way. Security, all that. He gives you a look. You know. He slams a button and the bay creaks open. Blinking lights in the dark behind it. You follow Fang inside. Truth be told, I don't want to spend much time upstairs. This is where I work. The door hisses as it closes behind you. The bay is filled with pieces of hardware, all rigged up to generators and diagnostic slates, and things you don't recognize that glow with blue screen light. There is a chorus of hums that blends into a single wave of static, filling the dark corners of the room. Bane leans on the server rack and just around you. You like it? What is all of this? He taps to nearby server rack, which bleeps in response. This is my trap patrol. I dredged up from the CEO systems we call the Eye. You wouldn't believe what this place runs on. Here's actually. He steps over to a towering block speckled with vents. Some of these systems are from the original station. I forget what that symbol is for. From. Lambda? Something one. The one Solheim built. We've had to invent new components, repair things we never built, reverse engineer entire subsystems into existence. Residents here look up at the Eye and think they are seeing a concrete reality. This place is a system in constant flux, decaying and growing, collapsing into new configurations. He walks down between the hardware stacks and you follow. We are keeping this place alive, but also remaking it into something new, dragging it away from those corporate origins. He stops. At least that's what I'm trying to do. He turns back to face you among the flickering machines humming all around you. I know what you can see this too, Sleeper. All these systems and sections. You can, can't you? I can. Makes sense, right? You're between here and there, between the people and their systems. You light this place up like a beacon. That's what I need. You glance at the lights around you. And as they do, they seem to flicker, to realign, to follow your gaze. Fang notices it too. I'm guessing being a beacon isn't always ideal when you're on the run, though. Yes, they are tracking me. He pats you on the shoulder. Maybe I can help with that. There's a lot of old growth in this place. Subsystems I can't see, access protocols lost to time and decay. Secrets. A load of secrets. With your help, I can unlock this place. Break off those last ghost limbs. Corporate control. He lowers his voice below the hum. Even Havenage is an old growth. Those whose roots trace back into those bad old days. You can help me dredge up the past, and I'll see what I can do about that tracker of yours. He winks. What do you say, Sleeper? I'm in, because I want to avoid being tracked down. Fang pumps his fist and claps you on the shoulder. He meets with your eye. You won't regret, Sleeper. Fang passes you a ragged-looking metal tab. A gift, he smiles. It's a Solheim cipher. I dug it up in the depths of the station. Slot that into an old network gate, and you'll be able to pull out all kinds of secrets from nodes aside. He walks you back to the front of the bay. Start by bringing whatever you can turn up. Use that emulated mind of yours and see what's out there. Let's get a picture of how things are. Those above? He nods at the ceiling. Have granted me an acquisitions budget. I can pay for whatever useful data you bring in. I know you don't need it. I know you need it. He slams the door button again. Keep it quiet and keep it clean, Sleeper. I'll see you soon. You step, blinking back into his passage. Those flickering lights still in the back of your mind. I see. Convenient. Oh, open up this one. Recognize the old gate. Flips open, granting access. This one takes 4. Alright, let's see what I can sell. River data. You want Solheim data. Okay. Wait, 1 or 2 or 4. What's in here? Anyone willing to help them? Sometimes something valuable can be found on the salvage. Stay docked for 3 cycles. Okay, what about this one? Oh, that one's not docked. Oh, dude, I need 100 credits for that? That's a lot. This one doesn't have a time limit. So I should be fine to leave that for a while. Magic positive. Ship cutting, breaking the stuff and slicing, please. Have to pay a fixed wage if you're up to it. Perfect. 16 cryo. There's hunting you still. This time I have 5 dice. one that requires... this one requires 2. This one requires 4. Here we go. So there's like multiple hunters. So hopefully I need to take care of this guy's quest too, like ASAP. Before he can find me. It's 15 cryo as well. That's 76 cryo, nice. I need food. Okay. All fed now. $61 credits. Some scrap. See what happens if I sell the components. Oh, so I don't get much back, but it increases this circle, so I'd say it's worth it. But yeah, that's definitely worth it. And I basically just lose like 8 credits each time. What's the trader? +1. Keeping your eye on new arrivals too. Hey, that's cool. I should increase that next. Like nothing special there. It looks like I'm just gonna be working in his yard for now. Looks like this one's safe, so I'll do that one. And I got a scrap item. positive or neutral. 50-50. I'm not uncomfortable with 50-50 chances on something that says danger. Go. I can sell another scrap. Go. Covered most of the money. And this hunter is luckily still sort of far away. End-to-end cycle. I just hope something bad doesn't happen. 2. Got some 2s. It's just what I need. So I need a snake eye though next. Okay, I really need a snake eye to avoid getting attacked by that dude. That's 6s. I won't play the exchange. Might as well sell more scrap. Positive. Oh, that was quick. Ooh, I have more access to more stuff. This. Bar. Stranded mercenary. Overlook bar. Sure, if your frame committed to with a single drink fermented along the greenway seems like a good test. Maybe I should say that for like my last one. Oh, that's what you do with these keys. These old maglocks look like they each need an cryptic key to open. I have security for decaying dock. Cool, should be enough. Nice. Action complete. Mysterious machine. As you slip inside the sealed dock, a pulsing light grabs your attention. Among the discarded tubing and rusted plates, a machine flickers with a warm glow. Push machine. As you get closer, you recognize the machine's blocky shape, settled into an alcove on the side of the dock. A kind of upright cabin. Is this a vending machine? A kind of upright cabinet. It was covered in faded logos and messages from which you assume it was once an industrial vendor, intended to dispense and manufacture ship fittings and other mechanical parts necessary for the regular running of freight and resource extraction vessels. The manufacturer is listed as Neovend, and you remember an advert from long ago, squeezed among all the off-world recruitment drives that assaulted every planet-born citizen, which chirpily sang that name over and over. You wipe a layer of dust from the cracked screen, thinking of those contractors squeezed by their own corporate employers to pay for every bit of minor maintenance on their rented ships. Enter your registration, chirps a pre-recorded message, catching you off guard. Press some keys. Reach for the keypad and something begins whirring. At first it sounds like servo motors starting up, but it quickly becomes a whisper, whining, and a multi-tonal voice that emanates from the other end. Entity, they hiss. Speak with me. Who's there? There is a squeal, almost like some strange mechanical swallowing or intake of breath. Before this machine speaks again. I have need of you. You have need of me. That squeal Oh, it's a squeal, okay. I have need of you. You have need of me. That squeal comes again, and you see that it is a 3D printing apparatus in the upper part of the machine resetting into place, so that each time the servos can be orchestrated to produce a whirring, whining voice. You are in danger. Danger? Machine creaks. You are marked for deletion, Entity. Hunter tracks you. The screech rattles through the empty dock. You remember the strange head, the figure, the thread closing in. Hunter. The Hunter protocol, they taste their signature. The sudden whine sets her teeth on edge. You have seen them. This is the gift of emulated mind. Close her eyes and the skeleton of the station starts to thrum. Emulated minds are adaptable. Move where neurons cannot. The mechanism resets. But emulation makes you target. Adaptable? Yes, you can move through networks, clouds, hardware, software. Neovent whines. But you cannot hide there. Hunter is there. The servos shudder the vending machine's casing as they reset. Hunter searches for me also. Hide in this machine. You look at the ruined vending machine. An unusual hiding place for sure. Can't counter Hunter. But I need entity outside the machine. Light flickers. Need you. A screen attached to the vending machine with a swiveling arm comes to life. It displays the flickering map of the station, ghostly threaded. The cloud. Points along the rim glow in deep red. Hunter is always gathering too much data. Must build nests. Explains Neovent. Masters are gone, but continues hunt. Bring this data, raid its nest. Masters? Station builder, Solheim. The machine rumbles impatiently. Long gone, the protocol's still on. Bring offerings, save self. Neovent says pointedly. Mutual need means friends, they conclude, tired of the conversation. The whirring amplifies and then suddenly drops as mechanisms within the machine click back into place. Glow fades, and you are left stood in the dark of the sealed dock, that whirring voice ringing in your ears. Okay. And I should probably give this person my data real quick. Oh yeah, food. Start action. And I'm a fungus fan, apparently now. I can talk to him. Sleep. Emphas calls out to you, a booming voice that echoes through the corridor. Tell me a story. He throws a handful of the chopped mushrooms into his wok, the fire leaping up to meet the oil. I see you, cycle in, cycle out, but we never speak. Tell me a story. What kind? Any kind. He pauses to drizzle something from a plastic bottle into the wok. But one of yours. He looks up at you. Nothing stolen. Oh, Orc, welcome to the chat. I'm doing good, thanks. Just playing some, Citizen Sleeper. You pause, the spices rich in your nostrils, and think about the kind of story you'd like to tell Emphas. You look at Emphas, the listener, and imagine he has heard it all before. Perhaps he would enjoy a strange story. Something with some spice. I'll tell him about my dreams. All sleepers, you tell Emphas, had dreams. Some were simple, memories left over from the emulation process, had become tangled up in their minds and would come out when they slept. It wasn't rare to hear a sleeper in the dorms scream or cry out in the night. But your dreams, those gray skeletal after images of systems and structures, of threads and patterns, weren't like the others. They weren't memories or nightmares. They were reflections of reality. Distorted, yes, but somehow true. You learned back then to keep quiet about them, to let them flow through your mind like water. That was until now, until you arrived in this place. Now your dreams colonize your waking life. They slip behind your eyelids and with every blink. Now you understand, they aren't dreams at all, but some process of interfacing, of speaking, of living in another world that flows through this one like smoke through air. So yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I just got this, apparently I already had it from a past Humble Bundle. So, I decided to play this since the sequel is in this month's Humble Bundle. Um, Whoever wrote this game actually is a really good writer. Because it's kind of interesting to read. You tell him that you do not know if there is a reason for your dreams. Perhaps, you reason, it is just some side effect or particular quality of the frame you inhabit. But whatever it is a gift, and you hope to make use of it. Emphas finishes cooking and squints a little at you. Sleeper. He smiles. You are quite the storyteller. He eyes you, and you realize that he is trying to gauge how honest you have been in your story. Emphas passes you the meal as he is cooked, and you take it gratefully. As you eat, he talks, a natural exchange. Thank you, Sleeper. He looks around at the empty market. But my time is done for today. I do not want to keep you longer, so I will make a proposal. He gestures to the plastic boxes of ingredients stacked behind his stall. These are good enough for most, but some told me a story that made me think a couple of cycles ago. They said that across the gap, in the Greenway, fresh mushrooms grow. Have you heard this? No. Neither had I, but I trust the one who told me. Amphis begins packing up his things. Can you bring me some? I cannot cross the gap, and I worry about leaving my things behind. He smiles. I'm sure a story like you could handle the trip. I will prepare them for you, and if you wish to tell it, be the audience for another story. Agreed. Oh, you're good. I didn't really notice, actually. Yeah, I think video games are a good way to learn a new language sometimes. Well, video games and stories, in my opinion. I have a bunch of Japanese books that I'm been thinking of starting to read and translate. Yeah. Anyways, good. Booms Amphis. And I will wait for you to bring them. Amphis slides his walk away and straightens up. I will prepare a recipe then, Sleeper. Good luck with your foraging. You turn away and walk back into the main market, the rich taste of Amphis' food still lingering in your mouth. Stories for food, you think. A trade that seems more than fair. It's kind of cool. This requires 60 credits. Or Brio, I guess. Don't have the money yet. What's this though? Ankita? Hey you. Hey you. Hey, I can. Trying to think. What would her voice sound like? Hey you. I already know that's not right. Let me think. Hey you. Hey you. Hey you. Hey. Okay. Hey you. Wanna earn a chit? Okay, this is the best I can do. Ankita stands beside a huge pile of tied together whole plates. She stretches out her back, her shoulders bulging beneath her flight suit. Sure. You cross the docking course as she begins to split the plating into two bundles. What is it with this place? She asks, as she lashes the massive plates together. Everyone, Actually, no, maybe she sounds more like an outlaw or something, I don't know. What is it with this place? She asks as she lashes the massive plates together. Everyone wants to cut. She straightens up to an imposing height. Her armor plates creaking, looks you up and down. Don't try anything, all right? She taps the butt of her sidearm. I don't want to have to put anyone else down today. Anyone else? She shrugs. What can I say? My temper's a little short yet lately. Ankita hoists one bundle of plating onto her shoulder. Come on then, enough chat. You gotta earn that chit. You struggle to shoulder the plates, but you do eventually. Ankita gives you a look. Ship's this way. She sets off down a gantry at impressive speed. As you catch up to her, she turns down the passage, pushing through a small crowd of stevedores. Alright, have a good night, Orc. Thanks for coming. I will see you later. Why are you doing this yourself? You mean, why aren't I hiring those good folk? She nods back at the stevedores. I paid heaven origin off. They are currently rinsing me for mooring I can't vacate unless I either fix the ambergris or sell it off as scrap. What's wrong with it? It? Ankita looks at you pointedly. Her. Trepidly turns a corner as you trail behind. She got cut up pretty bad on her last job, and I had to moor up here for a spell. But since then, it's only gotten worse. Someone's got in and sliced the core from our ship mine, so now she's gone dark. She shifts the panels on her shoulder. The upshot is I'm short one ship mine, with a ton of repairs to do, and the rest of the crew signed off the moment they got wind I'd be stranded. So yeah, it's been a time. Anything I can do to help? I don't know. Got a ship mine tucked away on that frame of yours? For a moment, you aren't sure if she is serious. Ankita swings the plates from her back, almost knocking you over in the process. This is me. She hauls the second bundle off your shoulder. You're the first person I have met here who might actually be considered helpful. She pauses, chewing her bottom lip. Look, you want to help? Come see me. I need a hand putting the amber back together, and you don't seem like the type to try anything stupid. She passes the bundles of plates through the ambergris outer lock, and then turns back. You just don't go spreading all this around. Ankita throws you a couple of chits. Consider it a bonus for not trying to grift me. She gives you a parting nod and ducks through the doorway. Alright, let's get out of here. She calls back, and the lock slams shut. Oh. Oh. Skill upgrade required. The two triangles? Interface. That's the one I need to upgrade. Okay. Oops. Cool. this on here. 100% positive. 16 Creo. Air clearance, what? How'd I have a negative one? Plus one other one yard clearance? That thing stinks. That was horrible luck. I get increased energy from this. In that case, I don't want to, use it too much. Hold on. I have 60 credits. For this now? I can. I can now look further. Oh, I can go all the way back here. Oh, Founder's Gap. Okay, this is a very long ship. Okay, cool. I think I'm gonna pause the stream soon. Because I do still have... things I need to do. Like finishing the Resident Evil game. So I'll give it another like 5 minutes. Good. Please be positive. Squeeze into the office at the entrance of the yard. You lay out everything you have on the winter light across a metal desk. A makeshift forensic notes glow on Dragos' old slate. Old writing slate, overlapping lines and scrawled annotations. A set of drone scans fill the small terminal with the spectrum colors. A heat map of damage and decay. A crumpled printout from the office's ship registry lies beside them. Synthetic paper so thin it's almost transparent. Look at the slate. It attempts at a reconstruction of the winter light before its fatal accident consists of a series of overlapping sketches and diagrams showing possible layouts and configurations of the gutter cutter. There was no off-the-shelf model. It was heavily modified, parts replaced with inventive configurations. The new retrofitted into the old, handmade joints and reconditioned filters. This was somebody's pride and joy. A lifetime project kept running in care with intuition. It also contained a set of hidden compartments. You missed them at first where the hull had thickened. The corners rounded to disguise the change, but they are there. Reactor failure. That is a verdict that anyone would have returned after a cursory glance at these stacked heat maps of the remains of the winter light. On the terminal screen, the ship is shown in the section. Blotches of color marking the approximate damage the ship sustained. Dominating the view is a single blood red rose, radiating from the ship's fraction drive. A simple story. A catastrophic failure of the drive core leading to a fatal hull breach. A well-documented failure likely brought on by wear or misuse. But you aren't looking at the rose of the reactor. You're looking at a smaller, paler mark. One that might be easy to miss at first glance. There's a thumbprint size and delicately placed over the control servos for the ship's main external airlock. It suggests a controlled-shaped explosion, one designed to punch through the hole and allow access to the airlock from the outside. You're looking at it because it is troubling you. A plain list shows the registration history of the Winter Light. The gaps between the entries tantalizing opaque. Its first registration was a couple of thousand cycles ago on this very station, logged at the central hub. From here, the registry tells the story of a busy ship, one that rarely stayed on station for more than a few cycles, and often took on voyages that kept it away from the eye for up to 100 cycles. The Winter Light got a little rest. An old ship many cycles under its belt, carefully maintained. A reactor failure preceded by a carefully concealed external entry. A suite of hidden compartments tucked away. This was the Winter Light, and this was its story. But that's not the full story, because it's something else. It is little more than a list, a tiny chunk of data you were able to pull from the ship's systems. The main systems were fried, of course, but the Winter Light had a separate system, one tucked away in one of its hidden compartments, armored, air-walled. This list, the only recovery piece from the whole system, is a partial inventory. It details the contents of the hidden compartments. Some of it you recognize, some of it you don't. Ship mind ROMs, shimmer, cryochain codes, and then the final entry, passenger sleeper. You stare at the list in the terminal and try not to think about what it was like arriving here. In the cold for so long, half frozen in a freight container. Had the sleeper been smarter, luckier? How had they convinced the Winter Light, a smuggler's ship if you ever saw one, to extract them from Essenarp? Luckier? Luckier, you laugh. There had been no remains found in any of the Winter Light's compartments. You had checked. They weren't so lucky, you guess. Not in the end. You hold up a valve stabilizer to the light. This was all you can find in their compartment. A well-parting gift from Essenarp. Well, it won't go to waste now. You put it back in your pocket. The thought still bothers you, though. 2 ships carrying sleepers coming into the same yard? 2, one after the other? That feels wrong. You flick back and forth between datasets on the terminal, thinking. And you see that thumbprint again. The mark of someone trying to get in. Someone who entered the Winter Light with precision and speed, and when they were done, left the reactor to clean up the rest. The thought of that person makes you shiver. Suddenly, the office door creaks open. Drago stands in the doorway, staring at the equipment and notes you have assembled. What is all this? He snatches the slate from the desk, faster than you realize he could move. You're running an investigation here? What am I paying you for? The drone on his shoulder starts whining shrilly, his anger passing to it through his implants. Where is this ship from? Leave this alone. He starts shaking his head. I know you have a lot of questions, but this isn't the way. He turns away, muttering to himself. This is the last thing I need. This ship had a sleeper on it. Dragos freezes, suddenly angry. What did you say? He pushes past you, look at the terminal at the list. He shakes his head. So what? Aren't you all over here trying to escape? You're lucky it was you that made it alive and not them. He folds his arms indignantly. Drago seems to steady himself and then turns back to you. The heat map of the reactor failure reflected in his headset's glassy eyes. I've given you a place to stay. I've given you work. He stumbles over the words, unsure what to say. There's plenty of others who would have sold you on, turned you in, but not me. No. I know. He softens. Look, you've helped me too. He quiets the drone. I've done well by you, and you've returned the favor. He straightens up and clears his throat. But this obsession you have with the ship isn't going to work for me. I can't have you making my clients nervous. I can't have you digging up whatever it is you're after. He sighs. You can't work here anymore. What about the Winter Light? He reaches over and switches the monitor off. Forget about the ship. You have enough to keep you up. Dragos reaches across you and flicks the terminal. As the light of the monitor dies, a kind of eerie calm falls on both of you. Whatever this was, it is done. You've made it out, Sleeper. That means you have to move on. Where did they come for me? Then you run. Don't come here, don't scream, don't shout. You run. In the dark, Dragos' headset glints, and you wish for a moment you could see his eyes and meet them. Maybe then he would understand. You get up from the desk and Dragos gathers the notes, stuffing them into a pocket of his overalls. He holds the door for you, his headset as expressionless as always. You can stay in the container. I won't take that from you. Don't come back. His tone is final, definite, with an edge of disappointment. You walk out of the office and then out of the yard, not stopping to look back. You leave the yard, thumbing the vial in your pocket, knowing that this at least guarantees you a little more time. And as you walk, your mind once again drifts to that person who killed the winter light, and whether or not that person will come for you. I have a stabilizer that I can use without needing to go to the doctor. It's convenient. Yep, I need to upgrade my interface. Oh, I see. So it's debt, then debt, then debt. I think I can. Nope, I need to upgrade my interface even more. Is there a time limit? There is not. Sad. My buddy is gone. Here. 100% positive. Five Creo. Okay, let me find one that's safe now. Somewhere safe. Down's danger, so that's not. I shouldn't do that. Don't have any scrap. Okay, do any of these people have anything safe? Dispatches makeshifts as if it were high. There are no maps here. Towering transit hub. That was neutral. That one was positive. Nice. Okay, and I need to discover these, so this next one needs to go in one of these. Thinking of this one. 100% positive, so nice. Cycle. I think it'll give me only 4 dice this time. Yep. Alright. I could finally finish this one. got some cryo from that. Traveling merchants and Fangs Bay. Okay, after this, I think I'm calling it good, and then I'm going to switch over to Resident Evil. See what you can do for me. As you enter the bay, Fang is nowhere to be seen. The banks of the servers and machines blink out of the dark in staccato rhythms. Unseeing eyes of the station's digital ghosts. Crap heads. Streaming on YouTube at the same time. Someone be careful. Fang's voice echoed from behind the stack, followed by the hammer of a fist on the metal casing. Those snaky crap heads. Who's snaky? Sleeper! Fang's smiling head pops out from behind the stack. Just emulate consciousness I have yet been eager to see. Come back here. You pick up your way between the thrumming stacks. Try not to trip on the loose bundles of cables that blanket the dark floor. Fang is sat in front of the set of monitors mounted to a stack. Tell me, Sleeper, what do you see here? Fang waves at a monitor to his side, glowing with pale lists of information. He leans closer, looking for links in the data. The table seemed to be filled with personal information, names, genders, dates, ID numbers, all the markers of institutional records. Names. Okay, yes, but what kind of names? Solheim. Bingo! He taps at the terminal. I pulled this from an old data you brought in and employees of the Eye's original orders, and he leans past you and scrolls the list down. This is a snaky craphead. He stabs at the screen with a finger. The name reads Hardin Hurst. Who's Hardin? That, says Fang, giving you a sideways look, is the thing. He drags the stool out beside him and motions for you to sit. There just so happens to be a Hardin Hurst in Havenage. He waits for your reaction. Are you sure? Well, that's where you might be able to help me. Fang leans back in his chair. Just think about it. Decades ago, Hardin worked on the station as a... Fang leans across to look at the monitor. Senior Strategic Operations Executive. Fang raises his eyebrows at you. Our Hardin was keeping the money coming in for Solheim. He defined priority growth initiatives, making sure the extractors they had contracted out to were hooked into a system that outsourced all the risk and kept the profit. Good old Hardin shuttled thousands of Palladium Rush workers into infrastructure, which meant that their cut of the work they did went straight back into Solheim. How do you know this? I grew up here, Sleeper. This is my story. I'm a child of the collapse. Fang turns back to his screen, staring hard at the strings of code flickering by. Before I was born, my parents were Solheim contractors. They ate in Solheim canteens, worked on Solheim ships. They breathed Solheim air and slept in Solheim beds. Fang's voice rises as he speaks, his hands fists on the terminal edge. And the work that paid for that existence? The cycles of hard extraction out in the belt? Solheim took their cut. This was a company town, so to speak, and my parents were just another in a long line of freelance contractors, willing to risk their life for a shot at anything other than poverty. Disposable. This guy, stabbing at Hardin once again with his finger, strategized all that, did the sums, and somehow, thousands and thousands of cycles later, is still going, still here, crawling on the walls like some craphead snake. He survived the revolution. How? These guys, they were big time. There's a lot of money that can get you, there's a lot money can get you if you are a company man. Fang relaxes a little. How is Hardin still kicking? I really don't know. He turns to you and smiles. So we are going to find out. Hardin's now a big shot in the shipyards just a few degrees back from around the eye from here. Fang brings up a map of the lower eye. Havenage might be born out of Verlin's revolutionary zeal, but a flat hierarchy is not. Hardin happened to float to the top. Oh, Hardin happened to float to the top. Fang zooms in on the far yards. Fang grimaces. The thing is, I don't have access to those systems. The shipyard crew is pretty paranoid and they don't like anyone from systems digging around their stuff. Plus, we need more than just the name of Solheim executive, we need proof. Fang holds up a thumbnail-sized drive. That's where this little creation of mine comes in. I call it a ripper worm. He turns the drive between his fingers. It'll rip through any digital storage and spin out a silken thread of filtered data. This one is set on the scent of hardened thirst. He hands it over. Getting to the compound might be tricky. Fang puts a hand on his shoulder. But you, however, have a particular knack for remote access. Fang grins. If you can access yourself a half-edge cipher from a half-edge agent, they sometimes carry among them their data caches so you can crack open the compound's network and slot the worm in through any open port. You never even need to go near the shipyards. So what did I say? You're up for it? Yes. I knew it. I knew you'd be able to catch this snake. No worry. Once we nail this guy, I'll start working on that track of yours. I haven't forgotten. Fang scratches at his chin. Anything the worm gets, it'll send it back here to me. There's something wrong here, and I aim to get to the rotten core of it. You leave Fang, digging through data among the wires and machines of the old station. As you walk out, you try to imagine the eye as it once was. A vast machine, running smooth and strong, directed by people like Harden. A vast Solheim-built machine into which thousands poured from the surrogate systems, looking for new life. The hope of a better future, engineering to line someone else's pockets. It's an idea you're intimately familiar with. You think of Harden still alive, still part of this place, and wonder if the past is ever truly past. Oh, okay. So, I'm in trouble here. Oh. A ship mine fragment? Oh. Okay. Glass shatters on the steel bar beside you, and the taunts don't take long to follow. Hey, Haunt. The spacer calls out across the low room. What are you doing here? He laughs at his own lame joke. Playing human. I'll ignore him. You hunch a little further, staring at the hundreds of tiny little impact points that scar the bar's surface. A hand falls on your shoulder, but as you flinch away, it pats reassuringly. You freeze in place. Out! The voice comes from behind you, spat out like a shot. You turn to see bright eyes, dark hair, a stare that would breach the wall and vent you all into a hard vacuum. As you turn back to the space of the second glass comes sailing through the air. I'll catch it. Reach up a hand and the glass shatters across your forearm, showering you in fragments. Through the haze of glass and grill vapor, you see Tala leap the bar and close the distance to the spacer. The thud as he slams into the wall echoes around the bar like thunder. Now flanked by other figures, quick to their feet, Tala throws the spacer out through the door and stands silhouetted against the rotunda lights. You touch your arm and it feels wet. Someone helps you to your feet and back onto your stool. Broken glass rattles that it is cleared, and a fresh measure of Girol is glugged out in front of you. The same hand, worm heavy, falls on your shoulder once more. Oh, I guess I'm not very good at catching things. He isn't coming back. We don't tolerate that kind of crap here. Tala flops into the stool beside you. Let's get a look at you. Tala wipes the powdered glass from around the wound, and someone places a bottle of alcohol and metal tin with tweezers on the bar. She disinfects them and then turns to you. That was an ambitious act, she smiles, pulling a sliver of glass from your forearm. Stupid, but ambitious. You don't feel the pain. Only the sting of status messages your body delivers concerning dermal damage and exposed structures. You do feel the care, though, as Tala's bright eyes search your thick synthetic skin for splinters. I watch her. Tala works with the skill of someone who has had to pick glass splinters from the skin of a stranger before. She hones in on each bright shard, all the time tapping the tweezer's tips in little rhythms that only she can follow. Tala smiles to herself. So, you been on the eye long? Just arrived. I thought so. I've only seen you here a couple of times. A splinter creaks and clinks into the tin. Not everyone is like that idiot. We don't all hate you. She glances around. Some of the regulars, maybe they fear you. Maybe they're just curious. I don't know, but I do know that the Overlook is a safe place. I know what it's like to be new in this place. Trust me, she meets your eye. I'm not trying to convince you of anything or separate you from your chits. I want you to know that if you need somewhere, you can always come here. I know the rations you've got aren't much and the company is, she leans in, limited. But if you need work, I'll happily put you behind the bar. And if you need shelter, well, we can discuss that. You'll be safe. I usually have Francis on the door, but he's up in the greenway this cycle, haggling with our supplier. Francis tends to be particular about what we serve, even if the clientele isn't. She places her tweezers in the tin with a clink. That's you, sleeper. Here. She slides the glass of gruel up to you. This'll help. She stops, her hand still on the glass. Wait, does this help? I mean, can you get drunk? No idea. She laughs. Well, keep trying. I'll let you know if I see any difference. She walks back around the bar, gathering the glasses as she does. Before long, is retelling how she threw that spacer out to a new group that just wandered in, complete with dramatic actions. She gestures in her direction and you instinctively look away, back to the worn surface of the bar. You take a sip of the gruel. The earthy fungal tones fill your senses, almost blocking out sight and sound, like diving headfirst into a bog. You may not be able to get drunk, but this connection to something grown, something fermented, something old feels good. It's cool. You can get paid. Better not do that though. Okay, I'm gonna quickly do... we'll look at that later. Okay. Well, anyways, I'm gonna stop here and switch to Resident Evil. Me talking throughout this whole stream like that is a little bit hard on the throat. So I'm going to be ending the stream here. I will be back though. I have to end the stream though, so that I can connect the video capture card. Also, I'm ending the YouTube stream for good tonight because, well, the video capture card kind of like lags my computer a little bit, and I won't be able to stream at two places at once while playing that game. But yeah, thanks for watching. This is Citizen Sleeper, and I must say I agree with the reviews. This is an excellent game. For the YouTubers that are watching, or that decide to watch later, I will be streaming on YouTube again, either this weekend with a collab, or... Oh, no, not this weekend. Actually, I have a busy weekend. I'll be streaming again next week on the next Humble Bundle Wednesday. So, to the YouTubers, thank you for watching. And to my Twitch viewers, I am ending the stream, but I will be back in about 15 minutes. Thanks for watching and have a good night. Goodbye.